Right, so the next catch-up session thingy-majig, whatever you want to call these videos, the next, catching up with thing that we're going to be doing, the next series that I'm going to be talking about that I've just caught up with, and this one is definitely the one that took the longest to catch up with so far, obviously because there's more issues of this that I was behind on than previous ones, and the Flash is probably going to take even longer. But Immortal Thor, so I read issues 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22 for this video, and or to get myself caught up, and I think I am fully up to date with this, as opposed to Avengers and Titans and Moon Knight, where I'm a little bit behind on each of them. This one I think I'm fully caught up with. If issue 23 is already out and I haven't had a chance to get it yet, don't go in the comments saying, hey, you didn't talk about issue 23. Haven't read it yet. So, yeah, it's only these ones, and I think this book is boring. No other way to really sugarcoat it. I don't think this is the most interesting series that Thor has had in a while. You know, the Jason Aaron run was something that a lot of people hold up as this is the best Thor has been ever. The Donny Cates run, which unfortunately had to be cut short, I thought that was really good. This acts as kind of a sequel to that, but yeah, I don't like this book, and I think, yeah, I don't have a good reasoning as to why I don't like this book. It's just boring me. There's only a couple issues left before it's done, or before it looks as though it's wrapping up in issue 25. So there's only about 3 issues left. I'm going to stick it out for those 3 issues because they could be the best 3 issues ever. But I think the biggest issue, the biggest problem that this book has is the art. I think the art and the artist changing from Martin Kokolo to who does the artwork on this? Because it only has the last name on the cover. So yeah, the artwork has changed from Martin Kokolo to, is it going to frickin', that says it at the end, doesn't it? Martin Kokolo to Jan Bazaljua, I think is how you pronounce that. I have no idea how you pronounce it, so I'm not going to try again. But yeah, the artwork is just not my cup of tea. It feels amateurish, and I think because the book was so gorgeous, those first few issues of Martin Kokolo, the splash pages were insane. The book looked incredible when Martin Kokolo was doing it, and now it just looks like kind of mid. And Al Ewing's writing, I've never been the biggest fan of Al Ewing. I thought Immortal Hulk was okay. I didn't get into that book as much as a lot of other people did. I read his Avengers, his Avengers Alias book, the one with Wasp and the guy pretending to be Vision that wasn't actually Vision. I read that one and I thought that was a bit mid as well, and I think the same about this. I don't think Al Ewing has done a book. he is who I think is the most overrated writer at the moment. A lot of people really like his books. Apart from that Venom book that he's doing at the moment, a lot of people are kind of saying that book is a bit creatively bankrupt, especially with the idea of making Mary Jane into Venom, which is something I'm not even going to talk about on the channel, because I think it's stupid. But yeah, this I think is not as good as Immortal Hulk, and I didn't really like Immortal Hulk that much either. I just think the book is smart. Is trying to be too clever for its own good, and Al Ewing is trying to be smarter than he actually is, or thinks he's being smarter than he actually is, when he's just being annoying. The whole thing of Thor being back to talking like a Shakespearean novel, or a Shakespearean script, doesn't do anything for me. I thought we were past this. I thought Thor talked like a person now. There's too many these, thys, and theys in this. There's the choice to get rid of Loki just kind of comes out of nowhere, and even the characters in the book are like, why did you do this? I don't care about Magni being back because it's in a run which was made before I was even born. The callbacks are to things that were written before I was even born, so it's not going to be fresh enough in people's minds for, you know, anyone that was reading Thor back in the 90s to really understand, or to remember. And it's not, and obviously most modern readers, or most readers that you want to be getting into these new books, they're not going to have a clue what's going on. They'll be like, Magni, who? Like me, who? But yeah, this is just really... And then you've got this arc that doesn't really end, which is just like, the Dario Agga stuff, the stuff with Minotaur, is completely out of nowhere. It was interesting at the start when they were doing interesting things with Minotaur actually buying Marvel comics in canon. That was a lot of fun, but it's just come off the rails a bit, and I don't get it. And this whole like subplot of Thor's gonna die soon, but this death is gonna stick. I don't care. I don't care. And this idea that Thor's vision of death is Thanos makes no sense. Surely it would be Hela. And I feel like it's only now become Thanos because of the films, because of the movies, because we've got to get Thanos on as many covers as possible. So we've got to make him like a big thing for all these characters. Even though I thought Thanos was dead. I thought he died. I didn't realise that he was still around. He's not actually a character in the books, but he is like when Thor thinks of death, or how he visualizes death, is Thanos, which shouldn't be the case because that's not a Thor character. From what I thought, and that isn't. Surely that's not what Thor would visualize death as, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that seems like something that kind of stuck in kind of stuck in the Donny Cates run when we saw Thor have the vision of how he was going to die, and it was going to be Thanos raising an army of zombie superheroes and or zombie versions of Marvel characters, and he was wielding Mjolnir with all of the Infinity Stones in it, which just seems like something a like 13-year-old would draw. It's like, draw the most badass thing ever. Well, obviously it's the coolest Marvel villain with the coolest Marvel weapon, with the coolest MacGuffins in the Marvel universe, with the coolest Elseworld story in the background as well. I don't care for that necessarily. But you know, do what you've got to do. If that's what's selling comics, I don't care. This stuff with the Utgardi versions of Norse gods, that's kind of the coolest thing for me, is just seeing these insurmountable odds. And the stuff that gets me when reading a Thor book is the mysticism of it and seeing everything else. And that maybe is why the Dario Agger Minotaur stuff, or the stuff with Roxxon, isn't hitting as much, because it's not as interesting seeing Thor deal with Earth problems. It's not, you read a Thor book for it to feel mythical, for it to feel like, if not just cosmic, for it to feel mythic. And that's what the best parts of this book is. I wish it looked better, and I wish it wasn't being brought down or bogged down with the stuff with Roxxon, because I don't find that interesting. And I found myself slogging through a lot of this book because I don't care about Mr. Hyde. I don't care about the Grey Gargoyle. I don't care about Radioactive Man. I most certainly don't care about Cobra. Who the fuck is Cobra? And I don't care about the Minotaur either. It was interesting when he was working with the Enchantress, but that story kind of has wrapped up now, and we're doing different stuff. We're doing different things. Do I think it's as interesting as it was before? No. Am I excited to see this book wrap up? Maybe, if just because then I can stop buying it. Maybe this would have read better if I was reading it week to week, but reading it as you would read it in a trade, in this, like, reading it in like a big bulk, it felt really repetitive, and it felt really I was just waiting. I was waiting for it to end. I think I was hoping for it to end. When I got to the end of the last issue, I wasn't like, I want to read the next one right now. I was like, which is what I was like with Titans, or what I was like with Moon Knight. With this, I was just like, I'm done with Thor. I want a month away from Thor now. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with Immortal Thor at the moment. I'm happy to have a month away, to be honest, because it's just, I think issue 20, I think it was issue 20, it wasn't issue 21, it was issue 20 that I think I was falling asleep while reading, which is never a good thing for a comic book. For a book that is 22 pages or like 32 pages, to put you to sleep is not a good thing. But yeah, that's my biggest drawback. When a comic book can put you to sleep is not great. And to kind of clarify what I mean by this book not looking very good, I'm just going to show off a page from it, and it's not going to be So I'm going to be amazing. Here we go. It just doesn't look great. You can ignore that side because it's a freaking ad for Star Wars. Remember when the Star Wars books at Marvel were good? Or when people talked about the Star Wars books at Marvel? No one's talking about them anymore. Maybe some people are, but not in my circles. But the I think issue 19 was the best. To go on an absolute ramble session, I think issue 19 was the best because it was in between arcs. It was kind of setting up new stuff, setting up like where is everyone going, what's going on with everyone's story, whilst giving Magni kind of this tour of Asgard and tour of all of the characters that maybe haven't shown up yet in the Thor run, like Beta Ray Bill and the Warriors 3, and like where are the other characters going to go from here? Where is the Enchantress going to go from here? Where is the Executioner going to go from here? Where are all these other characters going to be heading after this book, or into the 20s? So yeah, that was, like every page was a different artist. So and you were just looking at it like, why can't this artist be on the book full time? Why can't this artist be on the book full time? That would be, this page is gorgeous. Why can't the whole run look like that? But that's just me. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of Immortal Thor. I might be in the minority here. I've heard a lot of people say that they're really hyped about this book. I more so heard hype around this book in the first few issues. I think everything post that has kind of like not done anything for me, really. But that, again, that's just me. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Thor, Immortal Thor by Al Ewing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.